What's happening, my generals and angels? It's your boy Tiger with part 3 of my life story. You might remember part 2 when we become homeless. Please remember to subscribe to my channel. My generals and angels, on our first day being homeless, a friend of my grandma's volunteered to store our furniture in the back of a truck that wasn't in use. Grandma decided to seek help from our local MP, but was turned away with no help. Not before she lectured him. "You don't win over new supporters that way," said Grandma. "You meant to help everyone regardless. It shouldn't matter if they voted for you or not. Why do you MPs always help the rich and promise the poor? Maybe it's true. A promise is a comfort to a fool. Don't promise what you can't deliver." He was speechless. I could see the embarrassment printed out on the MP's face because Grandma supported the opposition party with her vote. Where I am from, you can lose or keep your job depending on the party that you support. Some people are die-hearted supporters to a particular party. Here is how it works. They'll use the most influential people in the community to convince the public to vote for them with cash and empty promises that they never keep. This is only short-lived because after they win, you don't see or hear from them until it's election time again. But Grandma didn't buy into that. She will vote for any party whose message gives her hope for a better future and with positive plans for the economy that benefits everyone. For example, more jobs and training programs for the youths, etc. Anyway, enough of the politics thing. You get the picture. Grandma asked a few of her friends to put us up until we were able to get a place to stay, but we were unsuccessful. They had their own problems to deal with. A true friend would help you regardless, even if it meant sleeping on the sofa or even on the floor, as long as you've got a roof over your head. But like my grandma always says, a friend in need is a friend indeed. I could see the disappointment on Grandma's face. I felt it for Grandma. She is one of them people who will give you the last shirt on her back if it helps. I mean, Grandma usually helped some of these people in every way she could, even their dogs when it strayed into our yard. We fed it, cared for it, but it is what it is. We had no choice but to look for the next best place to sleep for the night. We walked until my legs were weak, and to make matters worse, it started to rain at this point. We were cold, hungry, tired and wet. We came up on a farm with lots of animals. We went over the fence and managed to sneak into the goat's pen. My grandma ushered the goats to one side of the pen. We took some of the hay the farmer had for the goats and made a bed in the corner of the pen. The farmer's dog was barking constantly. I guess it could sense that we were there. We laid down to sleep. It was a creepy night with slugs slithering around us, roaches crawling on us, all sorts of insects, mosquito buzzing around my ears. Plus, the dog won't stop barking. It was a night I'd never forget. The goat pen was so smelly. It was stifling. I dozed off and was disturbed by one of the goats sniffing my foot while having a leak. Can you imagine that? Grandma was fast asleep. I could hear her snoring. I could hear the insects making noise. I was so scared, especially hearing the owls hooting. I cringed next to Grandma, hoping someone would take me out of this nightmare. Now I knew the challenges that homeless people face every day. Daylight couldn't have come fast enough for me. My eyes were closing down, but I was trying to stay awake. I must have fallen asleep because I dreamt that all the insects were chasing me. As if that wasn't enough, I woke up with blurry eyes. 5 men were standing over us with shotguns and dogs, asking us all sorts of questions. It was the farmer and his sons. I think the dog gave us away with all that barking. My grandma explained to them that we were homeless and we had nowhere to go, and that our belongings were stored in the back of a truck. They were satisfied with our explanation. After all, why would an old lady and a 5-year-old child trying to steal anyway? The farmer and his family invited us into their house and gave us breakfast. I recognized one of his younger children that attended my school. I was thinking, this is when you feel like you want to disappear, yo. I was so embarrassed. Everyone at school would know that I am homeless and that I slept in a goat pen. I was so happy to hear that the farmer and his wife knew someone who had 2 vacant rooms. They drove us there immediately after we finished eating, but I was not impressed at all. But what doesn't kill you can only make you stronger, mentally or physically. My generals and angels, please stay tuned for part 4 of my life story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and hit up the notification bell. That way you won't miss a thing. Thanks for watching, my generals and angels.